Hello, Juan, and rebuilding from scratch here. A little reflection, my Friday reflection section. So what happened this week on terms of signals? So I did get a little bit distracted, to be honest. With all the AI kind of conversations and things that are happening, I started to play. I used Blue Melon I use it for use cases, the real life use cases. So Blue Melon's the other company. And I was able to create my first AI agent using N8N integration. And this agent, what it needed to do was to connect to Slack, ping the team, say, can you send me this report, and then collect the information and send me a summary. And align that with, let's say, in these instances, revenue goals and how those goals align to our company SMART goals. And that was pretty interesting. If anyone is interested for me to show you how to do that, I could help you out, or I could just maybe do a tutorial one day on how to do it. What I did find interesting though was I spent maybe 4 hours or 5 hours going back and forth in OpenAI and ChatGPT, it just took me in circles as to how to build the flow of integrations. And then I found after 5 hours of not successfully achieving what I wanted, and I think it's because it seems to know, but it doesn't show you the whole picture, the full picture from the beginning, even though I was prompting with the very specific use case. I then found a YouTube channel that helped me in 6 minutes, and it just comes to show that, I mean, this intelligence is amazing, but when I try to use some of these things, I keep finding myself, it's just the amount of difficulty trying to get the context, and something that I'm not sure if a lot of people talk about, but this is the structure of things. So how granular you need to be, but also how much rules you need to build around, and how much feedback you need to give all the time. So that was an interesting exercise. What I did do as well, which was pretty cool, was I created 2 GPTs, so not an agent, but just GPTs using OpenAI. And that's pretty easy to do. It's just basically a place where you can create a very specific prompt, attach some files, build some knowledge, and then you can ping it to do a few things. So I built one for sales, specifically on the other company, and I've done another one for financials, which is more financials around the end-to-end of the company. So your P&L, your balance sheet, tracking against forecasted budgets and actuals, and then try to get the health check of the business. So that was pretty cool, and I did it with GPTs, no integration needed, but that means you need to be in OpenAI's kind of format, which is fine. And lastly, what I did is, in this world of trying to simplify my workflow, I went back into my internal compass. This is now back into reinventing myself, and relook at things like what were my North Star goals. So North Star goals, the way I see it, is like in things that are going to be long-term and kind of dream big type of goals. Like if you could have a little magic wand and make it all happen, what would that look like? I looked at my new rituals, so I simplified my rituals because I had too many and they were not really working. I had 5, now I have 3, 2 of them weekly and 1 monthly. I did one exercise, I don't know if you've seen it, called Odyssey Planning from Designing Your Life. And basically what it is, it asks you to create 3 different kind of life plans 5 years from now. So the first one is 5 years from now, what would your life look like if it keeps being the same? The second one is just what's the alternative path, which means let's imagine you lost your job, hopefully not, but imagine you lost your job or your position became irrelevant. What would that look like? Which this one is prompting more around, imagine it's something that you're probably thinking about now, but you're not making any decisions, or, but that's the scenario. And the third one is go nuts, go radical path. What would be your life in 5 years if you had no chances of failing, or if you had, if you're concerned about money, you don't worry about money. And that allows you to kind of visualize what you really, really want. Or at least when you look at it, you may reflect into, that's not what I need. So it was pretty cool. And I think I'm going to try to build a little agent or maybe a GPT. GPT, I find them easier. But about my internal compass, that could become my kind of advisor or my validator of things when I get stuck. I've had coaches and I've had psychologists and I've had things, but they're not always available to you. And I want to try to find something that I can build the knowledge on, so then they can track my patterns and they can have, I don't know, keep me on track. And hopefully maybe help me build some habits. In terms of the ideas, reinvention OS still lingering around my head. I haven't found the right insight yet. I need to kind of focus more on interviewing the right people. But yeah, I think with that, momentum keeps fizzling in out. I do see there's a problem space there, but I'm not kind of jumping out of my bones. And another thing actually that I watched that was pretty cool, maybe if you're starting your own thing would be useful, is called the Foundation Sprint, which is by the same guys that did the design sprint, so Jake Knapp. And the Foundation Sprint, I saw this video in Lenny's newsletter. I'll put the information on the description, where they take you through this journey of before you build anything, before getting into design sprints, how you need to treat the foundation, the moment of before your funding kicks in, before applying is like, and was really revealing that you can do this just apparently half a day or 2 half days, and that was really interesting. The hardest part for me is they do talk about what are your differentiators in the workshop. Like you need to kind of drill down, and you get the classic differentiators and differentiators from the competition, right? So what are your differentiators? The classic ones are, is your product fast or slow? Is your product cheap or expensive? And more experienced one, is your team very technical, or does it have a lot of knowledge in this industry versus doesn't have any? And when looking at HR and doing things with technical/human, I got a little bit stuck about I don't know what differentiator I have yet. So something to ponder around. I'll put the link on the Foundation Sprint. I think would be pretty cool if you're stuck and you don't know kind of where to get the foundations from. And then from the foundation, maybe work on design sprints or building something and testing market. That's it for today. Hopefully you have an amazing weekend, and thanks for listening.